Ever wonder what it takes to live a life creatively? So do we. That's why we're here, to find out what clever people do to succeed in the arts, business, and education. I'm Cecily Korst, and this is the Trailer Talks. We're interviewing artists and educators, musicians, and thought leaders, at home and on the road. So come on, it's going to be a good trip. Hey, welcome to the trailer. Come on in. Give one piece of advice.
What's your advice?
What is the one thing that you think?
One thing that you think everyone should know about
You would tell other people
pursuing a creative life, living a creative life. What is the one thing that you think everyone should know about living a creative life? Here are a dozen answers from season 1.
If you listen to your church or your parents or the politicians, if you have a life that doesn't work for you, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. If you spend your time trying to figure out who you are and what it is that you might really like to do, I think you have a 100% chance of getting there. But if you listen to other people, everything that people told me didn't work. All it did was make it more clear that I wasn't like everybody else. My students are not like anybody else. People that decide to have a life in art, not even a career, but a life in art, are making some pretty bold declarations about themselves.
I think start now is kind of my little mantra. Like, you know, it's never too late and it's never too early, and you can always pursue your dreams and your career. You can always pursue something that gives you an income and your dream. I think I got derailed a little bit by people telling me that, oh, it's so hard to be an actor, and so I found other things that I enjoyed doing. But, you know, I wish that somebody had said, great, be an actor, you know, here are the tools, here's what you need to do, here's how you survive. So I think start now.
I think if you want to do something creative, it's really important to actually go out and do it. There are a lot of people who think that they say, I could be a great author, I could be a great musician or whatever it is, and they never try. And I heard a saying, you know, if you have a talent, then you kind of owe it to the world, to give it to the world. And I think so many people get caught up in the day-to-day life. I talk to a lot of people who say, I want to do movies, or I want to do acting, or I want to do voiceover, but I just don't have time to do it because I'm just so busy with work and school and kids. And yet they've shown that the average American watches something like 38 hours of television a week, right? And that's a full-time job. I mean, that's another job, watching TV. And you know, a friend of mine is an author, Steve Chandler. He has a great book called 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself. And he says when you're watching television, you're watching other people do what they love doing for a living and making a lot of money, and you're just passively watching. And so, you know, what side of the glass do you want to be on? Do you want to be on this side of the glass or that side of the glass?
You can't know in advance, so don't try to plan it out. And then the only way to get things ever get done is the formula for you put your butt in the chair and do it. Like that's the only thing ever.
If you're in it, you should be in it for the long haul. You know, that if there's not a part of you that is up for the difficulty, up for the challenge, and up for the fact that it could take you years. It may not, but it might, you know? And if that's a deal breaker for you, then you probably should do something else, you know? I know there's always this thing that I've heard before, people would tell us at college, you know, if you can do anything else, do that. And I always thought it was such crap, because I always kind of felt like I could do other things other than be an actor, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a smart girl, like I can do, it's not like, I'm not doing this because I have no choice. I'm doing this because I like this best.
Do what you do. Whatever that creative side of you, whether it's art, music, dance, just talking like a lunatic on a microphone, whatever it is, like we do, whatever it is, just keep doing it and do it as much as possible. You need to keep practice at it. If you love playing music and you only do it once a week, well, how good are you going to get at it? Perhaps not as good as the person who loves it just as much as you, but they're doing it 7 days a week.
Just keep doing what you're doing, or every day focus on it, because if you continue to focus on it, at some point you'll get a tipping point where it's like, oh wait, an opportunity there that I never saw before, or there, and I could keep doing the thing that I love and cut out all the stuff that I hate.
You hear everybody say, well, just you've got to persevere. Because it took a long time. It took me 12 years to go from the idea to the. You've got to be. I think if you're true to yourself, if you do it for yourself, and you want to, the day I did the first horse, I did it for me. I knew it would work, and it should work, and I just wanted to see that, because I thought if it works the way it should work, I'm just going to smile and to love it. And if you do it for that reason, and then if you have this conviction that when you would have finished it, you're going to love it, then it gives you the power to persevere. And then, of course, at least there'll be someone who will be pleased with what you've done. And if you were right, then maybe some other people will share that enjoyment.
You know, I said I've never been one for easy, and you know, without risks and without challenges in life, you'll go nowhere, and life will not happen. Life is full of challenge and risk. I think if there's something that you really believe you want to do with your life, you should do it, and you should not stop doing it, and you should figure out a way to do it, whether that means you're going out and doing plein air paintings on the beach on the weekends, or whether you're just risking everything to become who you want to be, whether it's, whether you're going off on your lunch break and singing. I think that creativity and the arts are such a deep part of who people are, and without that, life isn't the same.
It's not just writing songs and, like playing music all the time, that it's really a career that you have to really work on if you want to be successful, and I'm like very marginally successful at this point. But I assume it'll be the same advice when I become very successful.
You don't have to sit around and wait for the phone to ring, which I think is kind of deaf in any field, but definitely if you're an actor, it's pretty much deaf as well. So I think putting yourself out there and creating your own work. I also think being a multi-hyphenate is really good, so if you can do something other than just the thing that you really want to do, if you love being an actor, and that's great, but, I think it's good to sort of dabble in producing, perhaps writing, or, things like that, because I feel like it's important to work, because work begets work, and the more that you put yourself out there as part of being a part of projects, and, you learn from them, you'll grow, you'll be a better performer yourself, and it's good to just have as much experience under your belt as well.
Stay loose. Listen to the faraway voice, because it's the loudest voice is probably the more practical voice. The one that's around the corner is probably the one that has the most interesting sort of nuance, and that it's really important for us to really leverage some emphasis behind what's not here right now.
To all of our guests, Dennis Keeley, Gabrielle Thomas, Dan Nainan, Jeff Lin, Marion Kerr, Dave Thompson, Matt Kelly, Remi Brun, Seth Burnham, and Taylor Greenwood, thanks so much. I'm Cecily Korst. Join us for the next road trip.